Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Yahawashi, Bashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone who are risking their lives in truth and sincerity to spread this word to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I want to say salutations and shalom to the Akim and few Akwath that may be listening. This is your brother Batakala Yahawah from the GMS camp here in Chicago. Shalakia. And I'm back at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahawah, Bashem, Yahawashi. And today's video is going to be titled, "The Lord Doesn't Waste Any Time with You Jakes, Especially Ones Who Understand and or Acknowledge the Truth." Okay? Now, before I go further, I want to say that this lesson is first and foremost to me, just like every lesson that I do or any other man of the Lord or any other member of the hopeful elect will do. It's about cutting yourself first, because none of us have been living right. All right, if we're going to be honest, nobody has, because this society is based off of living the wrong way. So really, if you don't feel cut when you're doing these lessons personally, even the lessons that you do yourself, well, or the lessons that any of the other Akim do, that's a problem. That means that you don't think that you've gone off. That means that you don't think you're wrong. That means that you don't think you've made any infractions. And that's not the spirit that you need to be coming in, because that's the spirit that Esau comes in. And really, that's the spirit of the woman. But as I've gone into ad nauseum in other lessons, Esau comes in the spirit of the woman, worships the woman, and really mentally is a woman himself. Okay. But let's start off with this. This is Psalms 119. I'm going to start at 73. Thy hands have made me and fashioned me. Give me understanding that I may learn thy commandments. They that fear thee will be glad when they see me, because I have hoped in thy word. I know, O Lord, that thy judgments are right, and that thou in faithfulness hast afflicted me. Let, I pray thee, thy merciful kindness be for my comfort, according to thy word unto thy servant. Let thy tender mercies come unto me, that I may live, for thy law is my delight. Let the proud be ashamed, for they dealt perversely with me without cause, but I will meditate in thy precepts. Let loose that fear that thee turn unto me, and those that have known my testimonies. Let my heart be sound in thy statutes, that I not be ashamed. Okay. And the reason that I started with this scripture is because while I was at the gym today, and before I go further, today is the Shabbat, and we are not supposed to be going to go work out on those days. And really, there's a list of things that we're not supposed to be doing. But due to the fact that we are slaves in this society, things like going to work or things like that, that's understandable. But something like going to the gym, that's something that you don't have to do for your direct well-being in this society on the Shabbat. And, I wasn't paying attention. I was being lazy. I wasn't focused. And I just woke up this morning and went about my day not thinking. Okay. And like I said, I wasn't supposed to go to the gym today because it's the Shabbat. All right. But while I was at the gym, what ended up happening? Well, first, and it's because this is how the Lord works, man. He's not unjust. He's not unbalanced. 9 times out of 10, really 10 times out of 10, you're going to be warned prior to you going off. Okay. First and foremost with these scriptures, but, also just in your regular daily life. All right. So, like little hints, what Esau will refer to as omens. So what ended up happening was I drank my pre-workout in the car before I went into the gym while I was in the parking lot. After I drank it, my stomach did not react to it well, and I ended up throwing up. And, right then and there, I should have, thought, well, maybe something's wrong because that's never happened before, and I should have just went home. But, I just brushed it off and figured that it wasn't that big of a deal and, shook it off and went in and worked out anyway. Like I said, and I shouldn't have been doing that because it was the Shabbat. Now, once I finished my workout, this Shedamite demon came into the gym. Okay. And where I was working out is by the heavy bag, which is all the way in the back. All right. So she had to walk past everybody to even get to by where I was at. Now, as far as the mask thing is concerned in the gym, I don't really do it. I don't care. And really, the only way that I put that mask on is if there's like a security guard at the door or somebody that works at the establishment right there threatening to kick me out if I don't wear it. Then I wear it. Or, like I said, they have security at the front door. So when you walk in, you got to wear it. But while working out, when there's no authorities around, no security guards, no police, no people that work there, I take it off because this shit is stupid. But what ended up happening, and I'm not the only one, by the way. Other people, there was at least 10 other people that had their mask down in the gym. But what ended up happening, this Sheetamite walked past all of those people, and she came and told me to put my mask on. And this is not someone that works there. This is just a regular person that goes to the gym, one of these Karens. And what ended up happening, she ended up calling the authorities because I didn't want to put the mask on as she told me to. Because I told her, look, you have your mask on. They say the mask protects you. So what does me wearing a mask have to do with you when you're wearing your mask? And, she ended up calling the authorities, and the authorities came up. Now, fortunately for me, there was 2 Jakes that were working out back by the heavy bags with me. Not like with me as in we were working out together, but they were back there as well doing their own thing. And they saw the whole thing transpire. Now, when this Edomite woman called the cops, she tried to say that I was threatening her, that I was yelling at her, and that this typical shit they do. And like I said, the Wadi Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi, those 2 Jakes were right there. So when the authorities ended up showing up, they went and spoke about what happened before I could even speak with them. Okay. And the Jakes pretty much told him, like, yeah, this lady lied. He didn't yell. He didn't do anything like that. He was just minding his own business. And then she came over and started pestering with him. Now, the authorities wanted to take my name down so that they could further investigate the situation. And what ended up happening was after they spoke with the 2 Jakes and with me, they turned around and I guess they went to go speak with the Sheetamite or wherever they went. I don't know where they went. But I turned around and spoke with the Jakes, thanking them for their testimony, blah, blah, blah. And then once I turned around, the authorities and the Edomite woman I didn't see them. So I just got the hell out of there. And, they didn't take my name down or nothing like that. The Wadi Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi. But I say that to say this, the scripture here, like I said, Psalms 119:75. I know, O Lord, that thy judgments are right and that thou in faithfulness has afflicted me. See, I wasn't supposed to be at the gym working out on the Shabbat. Okay. And it didn't take long for the Lord. First of all, before I even went in there, I was given a sign and I didn't pay attention. Number 1. Okay. So that's something that we have to be cognizant of. Number 2, it didn't take long for me to be punished for that crime, because that is a crime according to the scriptures. And really, if I'm not mistaken, that's punishable by death. So, I mean, of course I got off easy, but how many other times has Jake been destroyed by these Karens making shit up? You know what I'm saying? So, Tawadi Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi for his mercy, because he easily could have not had mercy on me. I mean, if I'm being honest, just based off of things I've done in the past, I should be dead already according to the law. And I'm sure that there are other brothers that have that same testimony. But, Tawadi Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi for Yahawashi's sacrifice and for their mercy, because we all don't deserve any of this, man. It's a gift and a blessing and a miracle that we even got that. All right. But let me go ahead and get to the next one. We're going to go to Hebrews 12:6. Okay. This is Hebrews 12:6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, Yahawah dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons? Okay, so Salakia, let me read number 9 as well. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Okay, so the fact that the Lord, because like I said, the title of this lesson is that the Lord is not wasting time with Jake. And he's not, especially not wasting time with anybody, any jakes that profess and confess this truth and profess and claim to be living the life. And, you know, whether you are doing that or not is between you and the Lord. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm not saying that anybody isn't. I'm just saying that only you and the Lord know what you're really doing at the end of the day. All right. But when you come out and you say that you acknowledge this truth, when you say that you understand the law, statutes, and commandments, then you're held accountable for that. OK, because some of these jakes sincerely don't know. And even though they're going to have to perish for going off, their punishment is not going to be the same as somebody who claims to know or says they know or has done research to find out, but then doesn't make the adjustment. Really, that's the most disrespectful thing you can do, because just hearing this information and being able to receive it is the greatest blessing at this moment on the planet Earth that you can have. Now, of course, there's things like spiritual power and other things like that that are coming in the future. But as of right now, the greatest blessing that you can have is understanding who you are, understanding who Yahawashi Yahawashi is, and understanding these laws, statutes, and commandments and applying them to your life. OK, so it's really a spit in the face when you don't sincerely try and live your life that way and sincerely do the things that you have to do. All right. And like I said, when you're not dealing sincerely, well, the Lord is going to sincerely fuck you up. OK, because that's not he's not here to play that game. We're pieces of garbage to him. I mean, of course, he loves Israel and the children of Israel and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and all of that. But at the end of the day, man, we're just dust. We're nothing, man. He created us from nothing. OK, so in comparison to him and in comparison to Yahawashi, we are nothing. So we really need to take that into consideration. OK, we're going to go to the next one. This is Revelation. We're going to go to 3 and 18. Revelation 3 and 18. Okay, here we go. This is Revelation 3 and 18. I counseled thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thy eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh, I will grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Okay, so like I said, and really, I'm not saying this. Okay, this is the scripture saying this. I'm just elaborating for those who may not get it, or for those who have not heard this yet. And just to be clear, none of this information is coming from me. This is coming from the Lord, who gave this information to the man Abba Bivens, the elder, one of the men who started this thing, and passed that on to the apostles and the elders today that are in New York City, and all the elders around the country, who then passed it down to the younger generation, which is where I find myself. All right. So this is not of me. I don't want anybody to think that I'm coming up with this. I don't want to, if it's coming across like that, that's not what I'm trying to do. But the point that I'm making, or the point that the scriptures are making, see, there goes again, Salakia. The point that the scriptures are making is that if the Lord really loves you as an individual, and I'm not bestowing the Lord's love on myself, because only he can say if he's dealing or not. And at the end of the day, the only time you're going to know if the Lord is dealing with you is at the end, when those who he's dealing with are delivered. Lord willing, the men who are doing this work in truth and sincerity, including myself, be those men. But, if the Lord is dealing with you or has an intention to deal with you, like he has an intention to deal with the seed of Israel, the children of Israel, all 12 tribes, then he's going to come and he's going to chastise you immediately, if not immediately, very close after you go off. OK, and just because you don't see the punishment and the chastisement that some of these people go through doesn't mean that they're not going through it behind closed doors. All right. You don't know what people's life is like. You don't know how people's mental state is. You don't know any of that. But what I do know is that suicide is at a high. People taking antidepressants is at a high. People overdosing on drugs is at a high. Okay, all of these things. And that's called punishment. Okay, now some people, they end up basically whittling themselves down through a long life of those activities. And that would be someone that the Lord doesn't really care about. Because if he cared, he would do something drastic to show you, or at least, because it's not just because he shows you or punishes you doesn't mean you're going to repent, but he will show you and punish you. And then from there, whatever is slated to happen will happen. See, these Edomites, they think that they're the people of the Lord because they've been able to mosey on about the world, killing, stealing, and destroying, and have yet to face consequences for it. Okay, but if you read the scriptures and did further investigation, which most people don't do, you would find out that that's actually a sign that they are not the people of the Lord. And, you know, these Edomites know that, whether they want to disclose that information or not. Okay, so let me go to Proverbs. This is the next scripture. Let me go to Proverbs 3:11. Okay, so here we go. This is Proverbs. Let me see where I wanted to stop at. Okay, this is Proverbs 3:11, and I'm going to stop at 14. Okay, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. Okay, so like the scriptures have been saying, like I'm trying to communicate to you, the Lord is going to be, if you go off and the Lord sincerely, well, I like I said, I'm not trying to put anything on me or saying that I'm this or I'm that, so I'm not even going to say it like that. If you're a Jake, and you really are sincere about what you're doing, and you really are a part of the hopeful elect, the Lord is going to he's going to chastise you in addition to putting you through trials and tribulations. But the trials and tribulations just come with it. The chastisement is for when you go off. Okay, so if you're really sincere, somebody that's sincere would want their teacher or their instructor or the person that is over them to correctly guide them into whatever direction that they're sincere about. All right. So if you're sincere about this truth and you're sincere about living life correctly, that means that when you make infractions or you go off, whether you do it consciously or subconsciously, you are going to have to be corrected for that. Okay. And, you know, depending on the Lord's mercy and how sincere you are, or I don't even want to say how sincere you are, depending on the Lord's mercy and depending on how many times you continuously do the same thing over and over again, you know, the infractions can vary. And a lot of times you could be getting chastised for something that you haven't even done on this side. Okay. Remember, Yahawashi Mashiach was perfect when he lived his life as Yahawashi Mashiach. He had to get on the cross for things he did in other lifetimes. Okay. This is not just because maybe you did something today. Sometimes you are paying for things, and really a lot of times people are paying for things that they did that they don't even know about because it was in a past life. All right. But like I said, understanding that that's happening to you it's a good sign, and it means you're going in the right direction. Now, you're not going to know, and nobody's going to know who those men are until that day comes. So it's just important that you take these type of things seriously. And this is for me first and foremost, that you take these type of things seriously, and that, you know, Lord willing, because I didn't even look at it like this as far as me going to the gym on the Shabbat. I was so caught up and upset at the fact that this Karen tried to get me killed by the police, basically, or arrested or whatever. Anything can happen all the way up to and including murder when you're dealing with Esau, okay? Especially when the Edomite woman is the one that tells on you or tries to call him, because she can't tell on me because I didn't do anything wrong based off of how she described it. But, you know, she made it up. She tried to start some shit. She tried to get me hemmed up by these authorities, by the police, by the people that work at the gym, all of that. Okay. And I was so upset at the fact that that happened that I didn't even evaluate what I was doing wrong. Okay. And it didn't, the only reason that I even got the understanding that I got as far as why that happened now is because when I posted what happened in the group chat that the brothers have over here in Chicago, brothers let me know, well, you know what? Yeah, that Edomite woman is crazy and she's wrong. But what are you doing at the gym on the Shabbat? All right. And it wasn't a who do you think you are kind of thing or anything like that. It was sincerity. You know what I'm saying? If somebody really loves you, they're going to tell you, look, bro, yeah, what she did was wrong. But you really are the one that started that because you shouldn't have even been over there. All right. And it really takes a real man to understand when somebody is doing that, that it's for your benefit, not because they just want to feel holier than thou. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, I was so focused on how offended I was that I didn't think about how I was offending Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi. And, you know, the Wadi Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi that they saw fit not to have me go to jail or even worse, be left at the gym by these damn Edomites. You know what I'm saying? He allowed me to see the flash of what happens when you fuck up. And then he gave me a quick backdoor exit out, and they don't even know who I am anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm lucky that the Lord decided to have mercy today. But what happens if I decide to disregard that and do it again next time? Okay? Now, that's when, you know, something really bad is likely to happen. So, like I said, it's really important to understand this and you really measure yourself daily. And it's easy to just move around and deal with your regular life. I'm not perfect, man. Okay? And this whole happenstance happened because I'm not perfect. This whole thing happened because I'm not perfect, all right? So I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody. I'm not trying to say that this person's wrong or that person's wrong. What I'm saying is that you need to be cognizant. We all need to be cognizant of when we're going off and making mistakes. And instead of getting offended as far as the situation, first, you need to evaluate what you're doing, all right? Because getting offended that's really a woman thing, man. That's really getting in your emotions is a woman thing. So I wasn't even in the right spirit after it happened because I was emotional. And that emotionalism allowed me to move on and not even evaluate what I was doing wrong until the brothers corrected me, all right? So let me go to the next scripture. All right. This is Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 8. I'm going to start at 1 and go to 12. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led these 40 years into the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee known that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live. The raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy power chasteneth thee. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy power, to walk in his ways and to fear him. For the Lord thy power bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive, and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness, thou shalt not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord thy power, for the good land which he hath given thee. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy power, in keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses, and dwell therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy power, which has brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Okay, and like I was like I've been belaboring or trying to get across this whole time, the chastisement, the tests, all of these things are given to you to make you better, to verify your sincerity. Now, of course, the Lord knows who's sincere and who isn't, and has known for quite some time, really since the beginning. But the point is that all of that has to still be played out down here, all right? And all of that has to be, the reason why the Lord doesn't make it happen is because then, like it says here, if you don't have to go through hell to get to the kingdom of heaven, then you're going to think that it's just you doing it. Okay, and that's where we're at right now. And that's where we have been for thousands of years. Okay, man wants to give himself the credit. Man wants to say, this is what I'm doing. This is that. Man only wants to take himself into account. All right. And when they bring the scriptures into the picture, it's not insincerity, unless we're talking about, the men of Great Millstone and those other men who speak the likewise doctrine. Other than that, none of these people are coming in sincerity. And even if they are coming in sincerity, they're sincerely coming with bullshit. Okay? So you got to understand that the tests are to let you know you're not shit. All right? The tests are to let you know that in any given moment, all of this shit that you think you have done, or all the things that you think you're doing, or all the things that you may think you can do in the future, can be taken away in half a second, or really in no time, in no monicum of time measurable by humans. The Lord can take all of it away immediately. Okay? You can go to sleep one night and wake up the next day and everything is gone. Okay? Look at the story of Job. And this is somebody that the Lord was dealing with. This is somebody who the Lord called perfect. This is somebody that wasn't going off. Okay? So if he had to go through all the things he had to go through, up to and including death of all of his family, pretty much, loss of all funds, etc. I mean, he pretty much was just left with nothing. But what did he do? He praised the Lord. And not only was he left with nothing, he was afflicted with diseases, not diseases that would kill him, but diseases that vexed his flesh and caused him a lot of pain. Okay? And yet and still, he held it down. He kept his integrity. He didn't turn his back. He understood that everything he got came from the Lord. So anything that gets taken back is not really being taken from him, because it's not his. All right. That's why he says, and this is roughly paraphrasing Salakia, but that's why Job stated that he came into the world with nothing, and he's going to leave the world with nothing when he passes away and gives up the ghost. So the Lord taking away all these things is irrelevant when his faith is concerned, because he's not going to be able to leave here with any of that anyway, and never was going to be able to leave this plane with that, this plane of reality. When I say plane, okay, so Job went through all of that so that the Lord could prove that this guy really is who he is. And even though the Lord knew that that's who he was, he did it so that now when we read his story now, we can fully understand, and and you don't have any place to get upset. Now, of course, the fool is going to get mad. The fool is going to say, why God? The fool is going to do this and do that and play the woe is me game like a bitch. All right. But those who really sincerely need to hear and understand, they do. All right. That's why the Lord made Job go through what he went through. The Lord doesn't care about no bet with Satan. I mean, you know how Jake is. Of course, we want to pop it. Of course, we want to have fun while we proving a point. But the point of the matter is that Job went through all of that for us and our walk in this time, because a lot of people are about to lose a lot of shit, man. And the average American, the average person in 2021 As soon as they start losing shit, they ready to turn it in. They ready to fold up. They ready to start mixing it to fix it instead of staying true to what they got to do. Staying on the right path. Okay? Let me get this next one and then we can close it out. And we're going to go to Luke chapter 14, verse 26 and read through 35. Luke 14, 26 through 35. Okay, here we go. Salakia, this is Mark. Luke 14, 26 through 35. Okay, here we go. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest happily after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying that this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill, but men cast it out. He that hath ears, Salakia, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Okay, so just continuing with the point. Well, actually, this is really going in another direction, but not another direction as far as the lesson, but is not as far as I'm not talking about chastisement here. Right now, what I want to close out with is to make the point that this is something that we got to do every day, as far as where it talks about counting the cost. Okay. This is something that you got to do daily. Why? Because guess what? I didn't count the cost when I woke up this morning and went to the gym on the Shabbat. And, I could have been left over there if things went the way this Edomite woman wanted them to go. Okay? And like I said, the water Yahawashi, Yahawashi, I was able to get out that jam. But how many Jakes have perished on the words of an Edomite woman saying she was threatened? All right? This is really something serious. Okay? And I take it seriously. And the water Yahawashi, Yahawashi for the Akim that pointed that out to me and let me know, no, she's off. She's going off. Of course, she's an Edomite, but really this whole thing is because of you, and you need to evaluate yourself. Okay? And it's a constant state of reevaluation. That's why it says to count the cost before you start to build something. Okay? Because this is not, you can't just, if you get in this thing and then you don't carry it out all the way through, the punishment is going to be far worse than if you just left it alone and didn't take it serious. All right. This is not a game, man. That's why it says to count the cost. This is really something that's deadly serious. All right. The Lord is a Lord of terror, is a God of terror, man. If you're not on the right side of things, man, he don't have no quarrels with destroying you, man. He's not a respecter of persons. And he has destroyed a whole entire planet, barring 8 individuals, once before already. Okay? And these are things that have been proven by Esau. All right? And that's not even counting, the hundreds of millions of Israelites that died during the transatlantic slave trade, and after that in the South, during the antebellum period, during the Reconstruction period, all the way up to this day. All right. The Lord is not playing with niggas out here, man. Okay. This is something that you got to take into consideration every day. All right. And it's a reminder that, yeah, man, you can be moving sincerely, but what are you doing to increase that every day? It's a constant battle of improvement. You're never going to be all the way up. You're never going to have all the understanding, okay? The only people that will have all the understanding, and they're not people, is Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi, okay? Yahawah Yahawashi. They have complete understanding. But we're not gonna we can't get on that level, at least not in this form that we're in now, which means that since you can never attain full understanding, the mission towards said understanding is always perpetual and continuous. Okay, the elders and apostles will tell you themselves that they don't have 100% understanding. They have the 100% truth, but there are things that they don't know about. Why? Because there's some things that we're not meant to know. Okay, at least not in this life cycle or in this kingdom. Okay, they'll tell you that themselves. And if these men who've been going out there for 30 plus years, who've given up everything, who've been chastised not only by Edomites, but by their own people who claim to be Israelites as well, casted aside, you know what I'm saying? If they can go through all of those things and remain humble and continue diligently to search for understanding, even though they know more than anybody or any authority on this planet, you know what I'm saying, as far as the truth is concerned and what's really real is concerned, even though they know more than everybody, that's not enough for them. They keep going. They continue to count the cost every day, man. And like I said, this is for me first and foremost, that's something that I have to be better about. And the Lord let me know that today. And Lord willing, you know, I can continue to move forward. Not saying that I'm not going to make mistakes, but I can continue to move forward in chasing after that understanding that, of course, will ultimately not be, you know, we're not going to attain that on this side, but you still have to be able to do that. You still have to have the drive to want to continue and want to continue to gain understanding, continue to learn. But the Lord has to put the spirit on you to do that. So Lord willing, you know, today's events affect me for the better. And, you know, Lord willing, I continue on the path. But like I said, I'm saying this to me first, but this is for all of us, man. Because I already told you, the elders and the apostles, they've been moving like this since been. OK, and they're going to keep doing that, Lord willing. And the only reason I'm saying Lord willing is because that's what they would say. And they would tell me, just because they're them, not to say, oh, they got it. They the first ones that would say that. OK, so Lord willing, they continue doing the things that they've been doing for the last 35, 40 years. And Lord willing, I can continue to follow in their footsteps and be better. OK, but, you know, with that being said, I just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi Bashem Makar Kwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of Great Millstone, and those men who preach the likewise doctrine in order to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I want to say shalom to all the Akim and few Akwat that may be listening, and Kwam Yasharala and the Bible Ball. Until next time, Lord willing.